Today I'm going to demonstrate for you the basic features of the Emerald Activities Magic Makers. Now, I'm logged in right now as a guest, which means there's a few buttons that may be missing if you're used to being logged in as a member, but I will cover those buttons in a future tutorial. Okay, a magic maker is essentially a drag and drop game or doll builder with a few extra features. So the first thing you're going to need is some kind of piece to play with. So we're just going to start this demonstration with a simple little hat that I can skew around to show you the manipulator tool. The manipulator tool lets you move the piece around, rotate the piece, scale the piece by pulling on these little side buttons. You can also scale the piece in just one dimension by using the handles that are in the middle. If you hover between the handles but near the line, you can skew the piece, which is very good for tweaking something just a little bit to make it fit a bit better. For instance, people like to put hats on horses and things like that, and that can help them fit. The other thing you can do with the manipulator tool is flip the piece. If you drag the little handle all the way across, it will flip the piece either horizontally or vertically. Okay, so let's get rid of that and let's make a picture. I'm going to choose a character to start with. Here, let's just take her. And then I'm going to get her a piece of clothing from the fantasy section. If you can't quite get a piece to fit, and it can be tricky, especially for the smaller piece, you can also use your arrow keys to do the finer positioning. So let me just put that on her like that. This drop down right here has extra pieces that are available to you. As a guest user, you're only going to have access to basic shapes. If you get a membership on emeraldactivities.com, you can earn treasures and purchase pieces in our market to give you things like holiday pieces, stuff like that. Okay, I'm just going to take this lovely rectangle out. Now, the first button down here is the one that lets you choose a backdrop for your character. The backdrops are divided into background, midgrounds, and foregrounds. A background is going to be a piece that fills up your whole screen, so I'm going to take the sunset here. Midground will take up part of your screen, and a foreground is going to take up very little of your screen, and it's designed to be used in front, but you can put it behind the midground if you'd rather. This button right here allows you to control the layering. I'm just going to pop it behind my character so that it doesn't dull her colors here. You can also delete any of these. If you don't like them, just go to the correct tab and hit delete. Okay, this box thing, I'm gonna just scale it a little and put it there. Now this big button right here sometimes says this, sometimes it says get a free membership for more features if you're playing with one of our makers on an external site. It just basically is a link to take you to our site to join if you want the extra features. Down here we have a help button where you can see more of these video tutorials and get other help. This piece here will duplicate the selected piece, including the color. This X button will delete a piece. Now, you may notice this box is in front of her character, but I'd really like to be able to see the bottom of her dress. It's not really where I want it. This slider that's labeled layer lets you pull things back and forth in front of each other or behind each other, okay? So I could, for instance, put this box way behind the background, all the way back actually to right there. Or I could pull it forward in front of my character. I'm going to just pull it back a little bit so she's standing on it. There we go. These buttons here are for changing the color of the selected piece. So you may notice that some of the pieces have one color on them and some of the pieces have two colors on them. The first color, if there's only one color, is called the primary color. If there's two colors, the color that there's less of generally is called the secondary color, and it has its own little circle here. So if I click on one of those color circles, it brings up a palette that allows me to change the colors. So by default, you're actually going to be on this palette here, which is called the rainbow palette, but you can use the drop down to pick from any one of the palettes that we have. We have one here that's called skin, that's good for humans. We have one here called ocean reef, that's excellent for sort of desaturated underwater scenes. So I'm going to give her a sort of burgundy colored dress with maybe a redder trim. There we go. I'm going to recolor the character herself. Let's give her maybe make her a green dragon and give her a lighter yellowish toned belly. And let's change the color of this thing she's standing on. Let's make that fit in with the background a bit better. Maybe, oops, sorry, I'm on the secondary instead of the primary. Maybe this purple or something is fine. Okay, now the only other buttons on here are the clear button, which will completely erase your image so you can start again, so don't click it unless you're done, and the save button. The save button will allow you to save your image to your home computer or to our website if you'd like to share it in our gallery. You can choose a nickname for yourself. Please don't put your real name. There's an image title here that'll let you just title your image to whatever you'd like, and you can also put in a description. A lot of our users like to make stories for their images and they share them in the description. If you have just gallery selected down here, it's going to save to our gallery on the website. You can also deselect that if you don't want it to be shared with us and just choose to save to your computer, or you can save to both. Okay? That's about all there is to the basic features. If you're interested in trying some of the more advanced features, you're going to need to get a membership on emeraldactivities.com, but it'll let you save avatars, move characters from one maker to another, as well as earn extra pieces. So it's pretty fun to check out if you're enjoying these. And that's all there is to the first tutorial.